There's unlimited potential in stocks, and you can make 500%, 1,000%. We've even seen beyond that. And that's a stock I'm going to talk about today. You can do it in days, minutes, years, but if you focus on the right stocks, you can catch some of these moves before they happen and repeat them consistently. Today, I'm going to talk about how to do that. Hey everyone, Lead Trainer with Stocks to Trade, Tim Bowen here. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share these videos with your friends. We do a ton of stuff. Would really like you to share these as much as possible because, man, everyone is looking to get into trading. I was reading an article today on Bloomberg about the number of new accounts at Robinhood and E-Trade. And listen, I'm recording this video fall of 2020. You might be thinking, oh, we heard about that story in spring. No, we're still seeing record numbers of new accounts coming to the market. There's never been a better time. There's never been a better time to spot these setups too, if you're prepared. So share these videos. And if you've gotten, gotten your feet wet, you've been watching the live videos, you've been watching the podcast, and you're looking to really get nitty gritty. I say it a lot in these videos. I try and give you as much information as I can, but there's only so much you can do in 10 minutes. Check out the Steady Trade team twice a day, every single day, 45 minutes. I'm live. I'm in chat every morning at 6 a.m. A lot of these plays start moving really early right now. That's another thing that's different about this market. We used to only see real big moves post 8 a.m., post 9 a.m. into the market open. Lately, we've been seeing 6 a.m., 7 a.m. runners. That's the best way. Check out the Steady Trade team. I'll be there to help you spot the next one. So, that being said, you can see on my screen I've got Peloton. This is a stock that, if you watch the daily briefings, if you listen to the podcast, I've been crazy bullish this stock going back to a year ago, back into Christmas when, I actually, on a funny anecdote, I actually bought a Peloton simply because of the fact that all of the outrage from that commercial last year, if you remember, it's kind of a funny story, but the stock was at 20 back then, and it's at 140 as of a week ago. It's pulling back a little bit right now. But anyway, this is a stock I've talked about over and over again as a stay-at-home play. It's one of the most mentioned stocks. I mean, if you're reading the traditional financial media, everyone's talking about Peloton. And hey, listen, it's up from, it's basically up 500% in a year, which is awesome if you want to wait a year to make 500%, but most of you probably have a small account. And, if you've got $100 in Peloton or $500 in Peloton, yeah, it's great. Let's say you had that $100 in Peloton and you wait 11 months and that turns into 500. It's cool. Nobody's going to complain about that. But in penny stock land, in low float stock land, you can catch 500% moves in hours, in half of a day. And there's a recipe of things to look for. So that's what I'm going to talk about. And, don't fall into this trap of thinking that you have to wait a year to make big gains. Peloton, awesome. Can't complain. Actually, last joke before I move on. I actually did a daily briefing again, and you can check that out. We'll link to it. I go live every single day on YouTube, and we talk about these concepts. But it's funny. I paid $3,000 for my Peloton in December of 2019. Had I bought $3,000 worth of Peloton stock, it would have been worth I think it was $17,880 the day I did that webinar. But that aside, I actually tried selling my Peloton for $17,880 and no one would buy it. I even offered free delivery. I don't know why. But anyway, that being said, the point of this video is if you know what to look for, you don't have to wait a year to make these types of gains. And I'm going to dial back to SPI. Okay, this is one of the wildest movers. Oddly enough, we'll link to this as well. We were doing a podcast. Stephen, many of you might know my podcast partner, Stephen and Kim, and we were live talking about the Nikola move, and you can check out that Nikola podcast. It was a great one. And oddly enough, SPI, as we were recording, went from 1 to 16, and we were just baffled. We couldn't believe it. It's like we were going on and on about how wild 2020 is. Well, by the end of the day, it had touched 47. So we were baffled, and it still had gone $30 a share higher. So let me jump back to an intraday chart, because what I want to show you is not only did this stock spike, not only was the recipe there, but also you could have been ready for this thing on secondary, tertiary, I think that's the third, quaduary, is that the right way? Quintuplary spikes. But, the second, the third, the fourth, fifth, these stocks spike repeatedly. And if you got them on your radar and you're prepared, it's not just a simple one and done that you're looking for. So let me dial back to that day. Would have been September 23rd, 2020. And this thing had all of the components of the recipe. Okay. What are we looking for on big movers? Really low float. Okay. Watch the other videos. The reason we focus on low float stocks is that's the supply. Ultimately, stock market is based on supply and demand. Fewer shares available of a hot commodity. What happens to the price? What happens to anything that whether it be a car or a collectible pair of shoes or Tickle Me Elmo, that dates me. But any of these things that are really hard to get, the price goes through the roof. So that's component number one. Then SPI had an early press release that day. They put out a very buzzwordy press release. It's exactly what we look for. Then we get that big gainer early. You can see in pre-market, this went from $1 a share to $3.50 a share in pre-market. Okay. So, huge move. And most, back to the Peloton world, most people in real stocks, as they say, would be like, oh, you missed it. There's nothing left there. But look at that volume. That's the biggest tell, too. And you can see, this is a 2-month, 15-minute chart. You can see that first 15-minute candle of the day, stock traded 27 million shares in the first 15-minute candle of the day. That tells you that the demand is there. Okay, we talked about limited supply. Now we know the demand is there. That candle is the tell. That tells you that I should not be watching any other stock. Then you can see we got that big spike in the middle of the day at 11 a.m. Went from 4 to 8, so it doubled again. But what I tell you, the best time to focus, and you'll hear me say this so many times, is that 2 p.m. window. So as I mentioned, we were recording that podcast, stock was spiking into that 2 p.m. window, and then when it broke, you see another $20 million candle. It breaks the high of the day, and I think that was the best move of the day when it went from 13 all the way to 46. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not saying you're going to catch all of a 1 to 46 move, or all of a 4 to 46, or a 13 to 46, or maybe you bought at 20 and you're not going to sell at 46. But what I wanted to be aware of is the potential on these things. Think of back to my point of having 100 shares of Peloton, and now you've got a $500 position a year later. What if you had 100 shares of SPI at 14 or 15, and it doubles to 30 in minutes? Now you catch these type of gains in a matter of minutes versus years, and then they repeat. The beauty of SPI is, let me jump back out. This thing had another huge spike on the 25th, 2 days later. One of my favorite patterns, that weak open, red to green. Stock opens weak on the day, opens red on the day, reclaims the high of the day at 1070, spikes as high as 13 plus. Then, again, we're now fast forwarding to the 28th. Big red open, 3 15-minute candles, red, bounces, breaks the high of the day, $2 a share of upside, and high volume. Notice each of these days, that's the biggest tell, and that's what's great about stocks to trade is you can be scanning for these volume criteria. So notice the days that the stock just fades lower. Like here, let's zoom in on this on the 30th. The volume is just imperceptible. No volume means you ignore it. Means there's very low potential. There's no buyers. Then fast forward to the next day on the 1st, you get another big move for $2 a share. Look at that relative volume. It's not hard to see that when this stock breaks the high of the day, highest volume candle of the day. So volume. Then as recently as last week, stock opened up at 4 in the morning. They had another press release. Gaps up from 4 to 9. It's up 100%, but still proceeded to go from 9 to 14 before the market opens. We were talking about this one in the Steady Trade team. We were all over it. I remember being in chat that day. I think I was there a little early. Might have been 5:45 or so. The news hits. The volume's there. It's gapping up 100%. We're like, hey, history doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. There's a high probability SPI goes wild if it breaks the high of the day with volume. And you get it. I mean, this is pre-market. Because remember, you're always going to have lower volume in pre-market. But look at these volume candles versus the day before. We jump back here to the day before on the 14th. The candles are scaled. I mean, barely imperceptible volume. Then you come in 5, 6 in the morning. Look at that relative volume. That's what we look for. That's telling you the potential is there. Doesn't mean anything's guaranteed. But when buyers are in control, the stocks tend to spike, especially when you've got that float rotation concept. That means buyers are tripping over each other. That means the sellers, the shorts, are tripping over each other to get out, and it shows you the potential of these stocks. Okay, let me know in the comments below. I kind of have a feeling what you guys might answer, but are you looking to make 500% in a year on Peloton, or 500% plus in a day on stocks like SPI? They're scary, they move fast, but you don't need crazy position sizes either. I mean, again, think if you had 50 shares of SPI at $5 and it goes to 40 or something. I mean, the potential is just unreal in these stocks. And what's great is you don't have to change your watch list. I mean, you could just be, every day you should have a watch list in stocks to trade with a volume criteria that's alerting you that there's unusual volume. You can do that every single day. The tools are there. And when SPI starts ding, ding, dinging, you know to focus. That's a stock you need to target. So, all right, everyone. Hope you enjoy these videos. Again, drop me that comment, like, share, and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you in the Steady Trade team. It's a small group. There's only 100 or so of us. We're a tight-knit group. We focus on being professionals. We only talk stocks. We only talk focused ways to improve and ideally make the best trades. I look forward to seeing you there. I look forward to seeing you on the next YouTube video.